And now the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which my friends on the panel, as you know, are always blindfolded. Blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery guest, one question at a time, in turn moving clockwise, and we will begin things with Bennett Cerf.
Well, those wolf calls from the audience usually mean that the mystery guest is a young lady. Are you?
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Is your real first name Norma? Norma?
Well, that's Dorothy Kilgallen on the last show of her life, soon to be dead within hours, asking Joey Heatherton whether her real first name was Norma. Now, of course, she didn't know, supposedly, that was Joey Heatherton, but she knew it was a young lady, and in the entertainment world, she asked if her real first name was Norma. The only celebrity I can think of whose real first name was Norma was Marilyn Monroe. Of course, I don't know a lot about celebrities, but I've heard of Marilyn, and she was Norma Jean somebody or other. Did she think that was Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn had died more than 3 years prior to this show, and so I don't care how drunk Dorothy was or how many pills she had in her. I don't think she thought Marilyn Monroe was appearing on the show. And maybe there's another celebrity who has a stage name, but her real name is Norma. But I don't think so. I think Dorothy knew it was her last show, and she made a reference to Marilyn Monroe intentionally, as a kind of a wink and a nod to somebody. And because Marilyn Monroe, she wrote about Marilyn Monroe, it was the day before she died or shortly before she died, in a column, implying that Marilyn Monroe's lover was someone very important, like the president, saying that, I think what she said in the column was that he was an even bigger name than Joe DiMaggio in his heyday. So, and then Marilyn was dead very shortly after that. And then, and lots of people, I'm not one of them, but lots of people think the Kennedys killed her, Marilyn Monroe, because she was threatening to expose the affair she had with both of the Kennedys, who ended up dead eventually. And of course, Dorothy Kilgallen was, in my view, a fake journalist regarding the Kennedy assassination, and there are apparently good reasons to think she had CIA connections, and one of those reasons is that she had Jack Ruby's testimony to the Warren Commission before it was made public. And Allen Dulles, of course, was on the Warren Commission, and he had been the head of the CIA before Kennedy fired him. And I've had a sneaking suspicion that Marilyn Monroe was involved with the Kennedy assassination to the extent that whether the Kennedys had her killed or not, there was somebody saying that he had her killed, and that was one reason why some people might participate in killing him. That is, if Kennedy had Marilyn Monroe killed, then you might not think it's such a bad idea to kill Kennedy, that he deserved it. And what else are you going to do, in this Cold War situation, or maybe in any situation? Are you going to accuse the president of murdering Marilyn Monroe, or are you just going to take care of justice. This gets a little complex and convoluted, but I think Dorothy may have known it was her last show because she wasn't really going to be dying in a few hours, that it was going to be an intimidation psyop, a hoax death. And I think that Dorothy's reporting on the Kennedy assassination, her very public, high-profile criticism of the investigation and the Warren report, was just a way to give her credibility, to make her into a high-profile critic of the Warren report, and therefore to make her death an implied intimidation psyop, so that other high-profile media people wouldn't have those same questions publicly. Now, of course, you can't really know these things for sure, but some people think that Dorothy Kilgallen was fed the Marilyn Monroe story, was pressured to do it, and then she came to realize that she had been used to do that, which ended up in the death of Marilyn Monroe, and that might give her some motivation to participate in the JFK assassination cover-up. That is, the idea that perhaps she had been used by the Kennedys to help get Marilyn Monroe killed might have motivated her to participate in the JFK cover-up. I don't know about any of that stuff, but I do think she was an intimidation psyop. Her death was an intimidation psyop. Apparently her finances were collapsing even though she's this media star, and it might be that it looked like the best thing for her to do was to participate in this cover-up, and maybe she thought Kennedy had Monroe killed anyway and that he deserved it, and why not? This is a way out of her difficulties, and perhaps she didn't die and simply retired into obscurity, all of her bills paid. It's a thought.
Is your real first name Norma?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr.
Norma?